I just thought it was, I mean, I just thought that it was pointless for somebody to tell that I didn't have a mask on by myself. I don't even know when this would have happened, so I just think everybody's making a big deal out of it. But, I feel like we're in the safest place in Orlando. We get tested every day. So if we're only around each other, we're getting tested every day. We can't practice with masks on. I personally don't see a risk of us getting it during the time period that we're here. We're not allowed to leave the bubble. So we're only around each other every day. So I just feel like it would be pointless for somebody to say anything. I understand that outside of this bubble, wearing a mask in different places is very important. So I wouldn't say that it's not needed. But since we are here in this bubble and we're the only ones here, the staff and everyone is getting tested every day, I feel like we're safe. So that would be my only, thing about that.
Hey, Dwight, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike Trudell here. Dwight, just wanted to check in and see how things were with the family, with the kids at home. I know that was part of the focus in what you were talking about and making your decision, and how you've been able to kind of stay in touch and keep focused on basketball while still maintaining that connection with the family.
I wish that our kids, our families could be here with us. I understand the safety protocol. It's extremely difficult to be here, basically alone without our families and our kids. So that is a difficult part, but we got to stay focused. Can't complain. We got to stay locked in on what the mission is. Besides the mission of basketball, we still want to continue to keep up with the awareness of what's going on outside of the bubble. There's things that have been happening that we still need to discuss. Breonna Taylor and the people who did the heinous incident against her, they're still free. They're out there living their best life. And I think instead of worrying about if I have my mask on or not, I think that's something that we should be discussing. Why haven't these people been brought in? Why haven't they been charged with anything or even arrested, for what they've done? So instead of the topics being about, who's not wearing a mask in the bubble, who was at the DJ party, who wasn't, all these things seem entertaining, but we're not going to forget about what's going on around our world. Those cops, one of the cops just posted a picture of himself at the beach. How could you have a conscience? You killed somebody, and you're out at the beach with women. You killed a woman, and you're out at the beach with some more women, having a good old time. That's not right. There's families out there mourning, white and black, who've been killed by cops, been killed through different things. And, the topic of discussion is who doesn't have a mask on and people snitching. So let's not forget why we are here. We're going to use our platform to discuss the things that we want to talk about, not the entertainment of mask and who's not wearing it. But I do appreciate people wanting to know. But that is something that has still been on my mind. Is despite us being here, what's going on in our world around us, and we are not going to allow anything to distract us from, the topics that need to be discussed.
Anya?
Hey, Dwight. I'm curious, did you ever get to meet John Lewis? And what came to mind when you heard that he died last night?
I want to say that I have met him a couple times, but at the same time, I want to send out my condolences to his family, and everyone was affected by his loss. There's a time and a place for everything. yesterday was his time to transition. We understand how difficult that is. I've lost family members. I've lost people that have been close to me. But I also understand that there is a time for a transition. And I think we should celebrate his life and everything that he stood for, everything that he fought for, and you know, how he represented us as black people as well as he could. So I'd like to send my condolences to the family. May the spirit of Senator John rest easy, but also not be forgotten.
Hey Dwight, it's Dave McMahon with ESPN here. I wanted to ask you about
ESPN.
I wanted to ask you about the Breathe Again initiative and how you're going to earmark the rest of your salary. What initiatives, what programs, what can we see from you in that realm?
Well, right now we're working on a program for the inner city kids of Atlanta to teach them financial literacy. Not just the kids, but also their parents. You know, done a lot of research and find out there are a lot of young parents out here who have not been guided in the right direction. You know, so one of the things that we want to help is financial literacy. Those are some of the classes that we're going to be funding to teach these kids and also their parents about financial literacy. That is something that has been missing in the black community. We want to make sure that we push that in the forefront. We also want to, during this time, we're going to use this money to help. I have a farm, 800-acre farm, so I want to teach these kids about agriculture, you know, how to use the different utensils on the farm, how to grow, plant, cultivate these different seeds and stuff like that. At my house, you know, this summer, you know, I spent some time teaching my kids how to, you know, to do a lot of different things, and we want to take that same concept and, you know, use it with these kids in the inner city. We also are going to be teaching the laws and the rights and the history of black people to these kids, and we have guys from each specific field as far as the financial literacy, agriculture, law, rights, and history that we're going to be using to teach these kids about those three things. And I think that is a start. You know, one of the reasons why we came up with this idea is because there's been a lot of kids in Atlanta and probably throughout the different cities in America. These black kids are in the streets selling water and Gatorade, you know, trying to make some money so they can live. But they don't know how to keep that money. They don't know how to save their money. They don't know what to do with that money. So we want to give these guys an outlet. We want to teach them how to save their money so when they get older, they can have something to pass on to their kids and their kids' kids. One of the kids that was actually out selling water a couple weeks ago before we got down here for the bubble, he got shot by another one of the kids trying to sell water. And now, you know, a precious life has been taken away for these kids trying to do something positive and not understanding their power, but not understanding how to save money, you know. So I want to take it upon myself and the rest of the guys in our community, and we want to guide these kids in the right direction.
Hey Dwight.
Ask your questions.
Hey Dwight, it's Kyle. I actually have one quick follow-up for Tanya's question. What could you provide insight into your meetings with Representative Lewis, and then? Well,
I didn't have any meetings with him. Said I met him a couple times when I was younger, but I didn't have any meetings with him.
Okay. And then another question I had was, obviously it was a very difficult decision for you to come to the bubble. Mm-hmm. And there's been some high-profile players who have left in the last couple of days for family reasons. I was just wondering, have you kind of considered what might transpire in your family that might cause you to leave the bubble for one reason or another, or is that something you just have to push out of mind?
Well, you know, it's very tough to push anything out your mind right now with what's going on in our world. with these two different pandemics that are killing us. And it's just been very difficult to just push that to the side. But when I'm on the court, my focus is on how can I help my teammates get better. Like I've stated before, I have an obligation, a contractual obligation to this team, the organization, the players, the fan base, and to myself. So I want to make sure that I do my job and I complete the task that we have set forth before the beginning of the season. But also when I'm not playing, just to try to encourage people to focus on what's going on in their personal lives and their families, but also how we can unite as people to change what's going on in our world. So every day, I try to do as much as I can to give people some positive messages, whether that be through Instagram Live, or whether that be for the people that are working here in the bubble, but also giving them some history, some things that they probably would have never thought about or known, because they were not taught in books and stuff like that. So despite being on the court, we want to make sure that we all use the platform that the Most High has given us, which is our voice, and speak out, our truth, and make sure that we speak positivity into the lives of the people that's around us. A lot of people are paying attention to everything that's going on in the bubble, and with all the negativity that could be running rampant around our world, we want to give them some positive insight and basically some positivity, during this time. So that's what, I've been doing in this bubble to try to keep myself, my teammates in a great place.
Last question, Bill.
Hey Dwight, it's Bill Worm with The Athletic. Hey, I'm just wondering, you said you met John Lewis when you were younger. Was that when you were a teenager? When did you guys first cross paths, and then?
I was a child.
Really?
My uncle is the district attorney, so I was a child. I'm sorry I don't have a lot of information on Mr. John Lewis right now. Like I said, I want to send my condolences and my prayers and thoughts to the family. And like I said, may his spirit rest in peace, and his voice and all the things he stood for never be forgotten.